Welcome to the Design to Do More podcast with your hosts, Jen Cosgrove and Sean O'Leary.
Another question that I seem to get quite often, Sean, is why and how do I need to pick an attorney? And we get this through the brokerage a lot. We get all sorts of questions early on because oftentimes we're dealing with folks who maybe only make a purchase once or twice in their life, aren't fully acquainted with the process. Thankfully, our agents are very well versed in all sorts of referrals and questions and things that need to be done, often in a flurry at the beginning of the transaction, right after the purchase and sale agreement is signed in many cases. And one of those questions is, why do I need an attorney? And it may sound self-serving, and it may be, but this is not the reason that you need an attorney. It's a pretty complex transaction. It's a significant transaction, in many cases the biggest, at least monetarily, that people have in their lives. Things are just tricky enough where it helps to have someone who is well-versed in real estate transactions. Kind of overlapping with that is an attorney that the bank may require is there to conduct the closing on their behalf. And in many cases that involves preparation. It's a cooperative effort between an attorney and the bank of a closing statement. That closing statement will govern the flow of monies once they are dispersed upon the recording of the deed. It's important to start with the proposition that you have an unfettered right to have your own attorney, and that's a statutory right granted to you here in Rhode Island. The bank often will give you some forms, and one of those forms may say, we're going to select our own attorney as option number 1, or number 2, we're going to waive our right to select an attorney and allow the bank attorney to advise us as needed. I think it's good, if you can, to have your own attorney who represents your own interests. And again, you have that right, it's guaranteed to you. In addition to that, the bank may have someone there, a representative, it may be an attorney who helps you with the signing of pages and the recording of documents. But in more cases, the bank, especially in our small community here in Rhode Island, would have some familiarity with the real estate attorney who you might select. In many cases, that person is already approved by your lender to conduct the bank portion of the transaction on their behalf, which again involves the flipping of a lot of pages at the closing, recording of documents, disbursement of monies. In addition, that attorney of yours can advise you with respect to title matters, can provide a title policy for you, both for the lender and for you as an owner, and any other of the panoply of options that may come up during a closing. So in terms of having your own attorney there, it's a good idea, is the why. And the how, again, it helps to have an attorney who is well-versed in real estate transactions, certainly having that attorney well-versed in the area where you're purchasing and certainly licensed in that jurisdiction is helpful. Humbly, we would suggest that our firm is often such a firm. However, in a state like Rhode Island, where we have many lawyers, often buyers have a pre-existing relationship with a lawyer, or have a friend or a family member, and that's great too. And we would, as brokers here at Greenwich Bay Brokers, certainly guide you through that process and look to consummate the transaction.
Thanks for checking out the Design to Do More podcast. Looking for more information? Follow us on social media or visit GreenwichBayBrokers.com.